One thing here.
Hey, Beth, good morning. One thing I know that you guys at Plus Delta Partners have done exceptionally well is sell with your customer's voice. I know you offer a professional development program to 3 different customer segments, going on a 4th. My understanding is they all use the same product, but the way you message the product and the value is very different from one segment to another. Love if you could share more on that.
Yeah. So our core segments, the 3 are, one's higher education, and we divide that into your small liberal arts and small universities, and then your research universities, which are really large. The other segment being healthcare. And with the small liberal arts and the small universities, you had a team of about 8 to 15 fundraisers. And so we were able to work with the entire team on creating this set of best fundraising practices in this process. With research universities, those teams can range from 50 to about 300 or 400. And so we had to approach that a little differently, thinking about it from a cohort standpoint. And we needed to listen to where were their needs at the time. So sometimes we were starting with managers, other times we were starting with top fundraisers or rising stars. And sometimes we focused on specific academic units. With the hospitals, the main thing that we were hearing there is that it wasn't as much about improving the fundraising only. It was about the fundraiser and doctor collaboration, the physicians. So they also needed this set of repeatable practices and a process to add validity to that. But the hardest part for us was getting the doctors and the fundraisers to work effectively together.
That's cool. Same product, 3 different ways of messaging it, very scalable way to grow. How did you come up with that messaging strategy?
So we started with liberal arts colleges and mid-sized universities. So working with the Pomona's, Loyola Marymount, St. Joe's University. What ended up happening as we started to get into those larger institutions is that because of the difference in them, they didn't see it as a reliable reference source. So we kept trying and trying, benefits of relationships and things, stubbed our toe, have some scars and bruises to show for it. And but eventually Michigan State and Duke University had signed with us. And we noticed then that it was, we started with those cohorts that I'd mentioned earlier, but what we started to realize is and listen to was their approach and their language. And that allowed us to sell into other institutions of that size. Same thing with the hospitals. We had a couple of early adopters, UCSF, Duke Medicine, Mass General, and talking solely about fundraising training didn't work for them. We really had to focus on that collaboration. And when we did, we learned some of their pain points and were able to then expand that overall. And now what we're seeing with the nonprofit space is that it's a bit similar to medicine and in healthcare in that it's not just the fundraisers, it's also the board that play an integral role. And so we are able to focus on the fact that there are other players in this that lead to their ability to be successful. So like the doctors who are staff members, this is board members and volunteers.
Great. So basically same product. You just got really good at listening to your customers, understanding their use cases, the language they were using on what pain point it was solving, and then prospecting and selling that forward. And as I understand, that really helped at a growth spurt over 5 years, 40% plus growth, which is outstanding for a privately held company.
Yeah, thank you. We've been excited about the success. Appreciate that.
Thanks so much for the time, Beth.
Thanks, Brent.